Hi, everybody. George Chamberlain here, executive editor for the Daily Transcript. Got a very interesting interview for you right now. You know, in a couple of weeks, the best tennis players in the world are going to be in Southern California playing in a big tennis tournament out in the Indian Wells area. And there's a local connection to all of this that I think you're going to find very, very fascinating. Joining me right now is Jody Watkins. He is the president of Watkins Landmark Construction, based here in San Diego. Jody, good to see you as always.
Oh, good to see you as well.
Thanks for coming in. We got a lot to talk about here, but let's talk about the story that's top of mind for you right now, I'm sure, and for your company as well. The Indian Wells tennis arena, garden, the whole thing out there, is hosting a big tennis tournament. So tell us about that.
Well, it starts in a couple days. It's the BNP Paribas Open, and it is the biggest tournament west of the Mississippi. It is the 5th largest tournament in the world. The improvements that we've put into it, the expansion of the site, not just the second stadium, which gets all the focus, but we've expanded all the way to Washington Avenue. Mm-hmm. It will, in a few years, it'll increase the attendance to 500,000 for the tournament. Last year was 384, I believe. They're projecting over 420,000 people to visit the desert. Pushes it to 500. It pushes it above 2 of the Grand Slams, Wimbledon and the French Open. So it'll be pretty much dead in the middle of the 4 Grand Slams.
It's interesting because it's one of the few tournaments where you have both the best men players and the best women players in the world coming to the same location at the same time, right?
Yes.
So that's pretty neat. All right. So as you say, there is one identifiable project that you've been working on for the last year, a little bit less than a year, I guess, and that's the building of the new stadium there. But talk a little bit about how that all came to be.
Well, the history, we started out there 2009, and you really have to go back to 1998 when I moved to California, and I moved to Palm Desert to build the original stadium, Stadium 1, 16,100 seats in Indian Wells. When I started my own business, I started calling on these people, the Tennis Garden, Raymond Moore, Steve Simon. Always loved that project and said, hey, if you have any renovations, any tenant improvements, I'm more than interested. I've got my own business now, and I'd like to be involved. That had led to 4 courts, practice courts that we did out there, which led to shade structure and some renovation of Stadium 1.
Sure.
And they started about 2 years ago talking about this stadium. And we were not only the general contractor, but we're the design build contractor. So we were in on the design. We had to, since it was done in 10 months and 10 days, we had to design the building as such to accommodate that schedule. We also, the year before, moved all the utility mains that were going through the footprint of the Stadium 2, and that was the sewer, the water, and as the electrical, as well as Verizon. So there was a lot of pre-planning, and the cool thing that happened last year at this time, one was the groundbreaking, got to meet Larry Ellison for the first time. The second was, right after Championship Point, we made a point of firing up the earthwork machines and started. And so people were walking out of Stadium 1 looking over the fence and seeing we're starting to clear and grub and get ready to start Stadium 2.
Pretty exciting. You mentioned Larry Ellison, a very high-profile guy. Maybe people would not be aware that he owns the tennis garden out there and was obviously the instigation behind this expansion, right?
Yes, incredible client, once-in-a-lifetime client, really.
Sure.
Yeah, and he is as passionate about tennis as anything else.
So the tournament will start up, as you say, in a couple of days, and this will be the culmination of an awful lot of work. You guys were building a lot of this in the dead of summer, right? Smack during the peak heat period out there in the desert. And how many people did you have working on the project at any one given time?
Probably averaged somewhere around 300. We had a peak of about 400. And it was the dead of summer. We tried to start as early as possible, or the tennis garden butts up to La Quinta, and that was a residential area. So basically, we had to start at 7, but we would try to get everybody lined up for the day, much earlier than that, and start doing a little bit of work beforehand, but making sure not to disturb the people of La Quinta.
Well, people should go to your website and take a look at some of the great video you have on there on the construction and some aerial shots that are just absolutely beautiful of this facility. It really is, right up there. I a big fan of tennis. Used to go back to the U.S. Open in New York all the time, and you get the same kind of feel. You've got two different stadiums now, and that's what you guys have. That is really, really impressive.
Yeah, the main thing of Stadium 2 that makes it different than any other tennis stadium in the world is it has 5-star dining. So you have the Chop House and Nobu, which are right up against the windows inside the stadium, so you can eat in there and watch professional tennis. There's no other tennis stadium in the world that allows you to do that.
Pretty neat. Very, very exciting stuff, and big congratulations on that. Okay, that's not the only thing you're working on. That's not the only project you've ever done, Jody. So let's talk a little bit about the history of the company. 10-year anniversary, right?
Yeah, 10-year anniversary coming in October. Started in 2004, basically as doing a land development for a custom home developer in Del Mar Mesa. Started that and really didn't have much in the way of goals at that time, just to be out on my own, and got an opportunity, a great opportunity at the San Diego Jewish Academy that let me build 6 of their tennis courts and their gymnasium there, and we kind of used that to get more business. Especially started out along the 56 corridor, but it expanded, into the desert as far north as Malibu, as far east as the Arizona border, and as far south as Chula Vista.
So tell me a couple of the other projects people might be aware of or would know of that you've worked on.
Well, another one we completed this year was Solano Beach Presbyterian Church, and that has been basically a 2+ year, couple phase projects. We just finished the renovation of the site. It's designed by Doma Studio. It's an award-winning church architect. Been an incredible partner. The Harain Group too has been somebody that goes back to my DPR days, and it is an incredible. You just have to see it as about a 25-foot wall of stained glass that's on the corner of Stevens and Loma Santa Fe.
Sure.
Downtown in the gas lamp, Spike Africa is probably our favorite project that we've done in the gas lamp. It's just another very architecturally intricate project.
You like to do work in the gas lamp, right?
We have a saying, we like doing work in the gas lamp, but we like projects with hair on it. That's one of our DNA.
Which means a challenge to it, right? That architectural challenge, right?
Logistics, architectural schedule. Again, stadium 10 months and 10 days, and that's an incredible feat.
It's really exciting to see somebody that has the passion for what they do that you do, and obviously the culmination of the work in the desert has been big, but obviously you have to move on from that one and look forward. So I'm sure that there are other things coming up that you're going to be trying to get very active with, and we may have another stadium park in downtown San Diego perhaps at some time. And you were involved with Petco, right?
I was involved with Petco Park. I moved here with Clark Construction in June of 2000, and was actually the project manager at the time for the Western Metals building, which kind of shows my roots of renovation and of especially older structures. And there's a lot of them in the gas lamp. Absolutely love going in there and just figuring out how they made it a long time ago and renovating it and bringing out the history of the building.
Jody, congratulations on everything you do. Congratulations on the stadium out at Indian Wells, and look forward to following you in the future.
Well, thank you, and appreciate the invite.
Okay, Jody Watkins joins us, and again, take a look at his website. What's your website?
WatkinsLandmark.com.
There you go, and you'll see some great examples of all the different work he's done, but in particular, the stadium out in the desert. It's pretty darn impressive.